everybody, it's Jen. Welcome to my channel. As many of you know, I am a woman in long-term recovery. I am also a CARC, a CRPA, a rape crisis counselor, and a trainer of Narcan. If you're wondering what those things mean, I will link down below the video that I tell all about how I got my certifications, what they mean, and all the good stuff that surrounds it. Also, if you look at my description box down below, you'll find the link to all my social media, documentary that I've been involved with, a PBS News special, and just some other videos that I've done. What is most important besides my social media is my Amazon wish list. My Amazon wish list is what I use to help people in my local community that are struggling, whether newly home from incarceration, rehab, or just needing some help during this difficult time. So today's video is about Black Balloon Day. Black Balloon Day this year is March 6, 2021. So for you guys, it will have been yesterday when you see this. Black Balloon Day is a day that we honor those that we have lost from opiate overdose and their families. So I thought today would be a good time because a lot of you ask, even though I've done it on Overdose Prevention Awareness Day, but I'm going to do it again. We are going to have a Narcan training today before I talk about some people that I have lost and that I love. So this is a case that it comes in. It's about the size of my hand, and it's just like a makeup case. You can keep it in your car, your backpack, your purse. I really just actually, in the zipper part of my purse, I carry these and a face shield, and I also have a face shield on my keys, for easy access. The first thing that you'll find inside of here is the paper that comes inside the Narcan box. So it is literally just, I don't know if it's able to, sorry if it's blurry, but this is just a paper that comes inside the Narcan box, and it just gives you like the chemistry of it, the official name, yada, yada, yada. I think I've looked at this like once. I think it actually gives you an instruction manual on how to do it, but I already knew this. This is a face shield. So this is if you have to give somebody CPR. So we're going to open everything first, and then I'm going to show you exactly how to use it. So what I like best about this face shield, it's like foolproof. It literally has a picture of somebody's face on it. I don't know if you can see it. So it shows you exactly how to put it. So if you had to give someone, mouth to mouth, you would put it so that part is there. You can breathe through it and they can breathe through it. This way, God forbid, if they vomited or anything, it's not being transferred. So next in the kit are these two very important pieces. So each piece of Narcan is 4 milligrams. You need to give both of these within under 2 minutes. So I tell everybody it's 2 under 2. So active signs of overdose. There are several signs that are active overdose, but goosebumps, blue lips, not coherent or making sense when they speak, nodding out, falling over, turning blue, not breathing, can't respond, falling down. There's so many signs of overdose. So if you see somebody that is in that position, the first thing you need to do is lay them down on the floor and put them either on their left or right side. The reason why we do this is because in case they start to vomit, you don't want them to asphyxiate on their own vomit. Then once that is done, the next thing that you do is you calmly call 911 and you give them the address and you explain the issue of where you are and what is going on. And you tell them, I have Narcan. I'm going to administer 8 milligrams of Narcan. Okay, go back over, turn the person onto their back, make sure that they have not vomited. If they had vomited, then you need to make sure that they're done vomiting and that their airway is free and clear. If they need CPR, mouth to mouth, that's what you're going to do now, and you are going to use this face shield. So this way you can properly and safely, because if you don't protect you, you cannot help anyone else. And then you are going to safely give them breathing and mouth-to-mouth, resuscitation. After that, you're going to lay them flat on their back. You are going to peel this down, just like this. Let me see how I can do this so you can see. Okay. There's going to be a paper in here. This also gives you directions. No one has time for directions in the heat of the moment. Let's be realistic. So you don't have to prime it. You don't have to shake it, nothing. You are going to plug one nostril with your finger, insert this up the nose, and then you are going to spray just like that. And once you've given it and you see how now the plunger is up and you can no longer see the red plunger? That's it. That one's used. You're now going to time what time it is, and you want to make sure you're going to open up the next one while you're timing, and you are going to make sure once you get to 1:50, you are going to plug the other nostril, stick this up the other side with the nostril plugged, and you are going to, again, spray. See how now there's no more red plunger and you can't see it? Okay. Now, within seconds of this being administered, the person should snap back into it very, very angry. They are going to be in immediate withdrawal. They are not going to be happy. They are going to be agitated. They're going to be pissed the fuck off, and they're going to be looking to fight. And hopefully the person that you administered this to, you have a relationship with, so you can get in their face and you can be like, bro, it was me. Look at me. Are you okay? Let's get up. Let's have a drink of water. Let's go for a walk. You want to smoke a cigarette? Because it's not, I have never used this on someone and they woke up and said, gee, Jen, thanks so much. You know, I've had people wanting to fight me and I get in their face and I'm like, bruh, it's me. What's up? And they're like, why'd you do that, man? Because you were blue. You were on the floor and you were blue and you weren't breathing and I didn't want you to fucking die. So I saved your life. So it's a very difficult thing to go through, and you need to get them up. You need to get them walking around. You need to keep them away from the drugs they just used. You need to keep them talking, walking, moving for at least 3 hours. And if at any point in time you see that this person is starting to go back into active overdose, you need to Narcan them again. Hopefully you've called the paramedics, and by the time this is over, the paramedics are arriving, and then they can proceed to help the party that you're trying to help. If you did not call the paramedics first, I've been there, I'm not judging, I get it. People that are active don't want the cops and the paramedics around, I get it, I've been there. If their person that you're helping is still not okay, you need to give them more Narcan. And if they refuse to, you have to really convince them to try and go to the emergency department. Just because you go to the emergency department does not mean that you are automatically going to be arrested. There is something called the Good Samaritan Law. The Good Samaritan Law protects you up to a certain amount of drugs on your system and on your person, even if you are on parole, probation, whatever the case may be. In a perfect world, it keeps you from going to jail. This is not a perfect world. So just be mindful of that. After you Narcan someone, please, please, please be very well aware of your emotional distress that you are going to go through. You will need to process this with someone that you know and trust and that can understand. If you do not have this person, I will be that person for you. It is a very hard thing to see someone you care about on the floor dying, and it is very hard to keep calm and keep it together and do what you need to do to save this person's life. I've said this in previous videos, and the only thing that has kept me calm is my faith and the steps of what I have to do. I literally know, okay, I have to open this packet and I have to open this packet and I have to take this paper out and I have to plug this nostril and I have to plug that nostril. And I literally count on the steps to be my saving grace of sanity as this is happening, because it is very hard. The first time I ever had to Narcan someone after I Narcan them, this was someone who I still love very much and is very near and dear, and I probably cried for an hour because I was so scared and I couldn't believe that this had just happened. Like, I couldn't believe how heavy it was to just have had someone's life in my hands. So please be mindful that you will need someone to be able to unload on, if you will, and just, it's okay to cry. It's okay to laugh because you're so scared. It's okay to be in disbelief or not have any words. Like, all of that is okay, because this is emotionally heavy shit. Like, people are dying. People are dying that don't have to. And we have a generation that is dying unnecessary deaths, and we have people that are amazing people that are no longer on this earth because they couldn't get the help, and we couldn't stop the stigma that surrounds this. That leads me to somebody that I would like to talk about. I did not know this person personally while they were alive. But his death has affected me more than I ever thought would have. As a lot of you know, I am in a documentary called Smacked. And there are some people in this documentary that are now family to me. And I didn't know it at the time, but this documentary was the beginning steps of my pathway to recovery and me becoming the person I am today and being able to live the life that I live today. In this documentary, you will see a husband and wife, Mark and Rosemary. They lost their son Alex to a heroin overdose. I never knew these people before a day in my life. Because Jessica Vecchione decided to make this documentary, she connected all of us for the rest of our lives, not even knowing it and not even meaning it. I came home from prison and found out how big this documentary had gotten. And I was working at an agency, and we were doing something for Recovery Month where we were lighting candles for people who had been lost. And I contacted them and I asked them if it was okay if I did something for their son Alex. And they said, absolutely, we'd love to attend and meet you in person. And it was the first time I ever met them in person. And as soon as they walked up to me, they hugged me and they told me how proud they were of me and how much they loved me and how they thought I was so much taller than what I was. And since that day, they have been like the parents I never knew I needed or wanted. They have been there for me time and time again. They are my silent cheerleaders on the side, and they support me through everything. And if it wasn't because of their son's substance use disorder and mine, I would never know these amazing people or have had this opportunity in life to make my own family grow. And one of these balloons that I'm gonna let go tomorrow is for Alex. His life did not go unnoticed, and he did not die for no apparent reason. He is stopping the stigma that comes along for people who get judged for people who use drugs. And I'm honored to have his family as a part of mine now. You know, people who use drugs are so harshly criticized and so ostracized from the rest of the community that they often die alone and never have lived up to their full potential. No one grows up and says, I want to be a drug addict. No one grows up and says, this is how I want to live my life. But sadly, as human beings, we make mistakes, and often the trauma that we have suffered at some point in time in our life leads us down the paths that we go. I hope you guys can really understand how important it is to talk to the people that we love that suffer from substance use disorder and not judge them and not criticize them and not make them feel worse than they already do. Because I can tell you with absolute certainty, as a person who suffers from substance use disorder, nobody beats us up better than we beat ourselves up. We are our own worst critics. No matter what we do, we never live up to our own expectations. We never do as good as we felt like we can do, and we always doubt ourselves. So I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video, and remember, we recover loudly, so those behind us do not suffer in silence. If you ever need to process anything like giving someone Narcan, please reach out. I will do the best that I can to help you get through it. I know how you feel, and you are not alone. Bye, guys.